So now we're going to move on to part B. Let's grab the paper, we'll move this down, and we'll have a look at these logarithms. This is part B for the September-October 2023 paper, section B. Determine the value of n using logarithms. So logarithms is a whole other thing we don't really want to go into if we don't have to. We don't use it on any other part of the course. That's why I'm not going into it. That's why we're not going to focus on it, because it's not useful, right? It's not really forming the core body of the content of the rest of the course. But here's the equation, and most of the time I would skip all these. I just say to my guys to just don't bother doing them. But now we can pick them up. If you finish the rest of the course, you understand like how to do the other questions. Now's the time to do these miscellaneous questions. So we're going to rewrite this thing, and they do give us some extra information. They say P2 is equal to 2P1. So let me write this thing down. P1 T1 to the power of n. I'll put it in brackets so I can see how that's really affecting it. These subscripts are really annoying. They make physics really difficult because of all this stuff. But I guess we have to get used to them. And some brackets will make it a little bit easier to read. P2 T2 to the power of n. Oh yeah, and if you're dyslexic or anything, this is going to be really, really difficult. So maybe you want to avoid these kind of problems if you're dyslexic, because there's lots and lots of letters. So we've now got P2, so P2 is equal to 2P1. So we can swap that out. Because in here somewhere that's going to be a valid, right? P2 is actually this guy, so that can be swapped out for this 2P1. We're going to do that, and then also we got T1 is equal to 3T2. So this T1 can be swapped out as well. I don't really know why I'm going to do that. I'm just going to do it because I can, and hopefully it should simplify things a little bit. It will make things easier, but really, in the thick of it, you don't know why you're doing it. You're just doing it because you can. You're just pushing numbers around to see what was going to happen. So let's see what happens. This P1 is going to stay the same. We just said we're going to swap out this T1 for this guy. So that's going to be 3T2 to the power of n, and then the P2 that's going to stay because we said we're going to swap out this. Oh no, I'm going to swap out this P2 for this 2P1. So let's do that. 2P1, and this is going to be all of this stuff to the power of n. All right. So these guys here are actually separate objects. Here, this is 3 and a T2. And you can drop the n in like this. You can only do this when they're multiplied. If they're added, you can't do it. Right? We're basically saying like, I don't know how to explain it, it's like 3x squared, that's the same as 3x times by 3x, which is effectively the same as squaring the 3 and also squaring the x. So you can see what we've done is just drop the power into those two components basically. So that's what I'm going to do for this one. So let me run all this back and we'll pop it in here. So this is P1, and this is actually going to be 3 to the power of n. I'll put it in brackets because I can't see what's going on. And this is going to be n over that T2. And now this side is the same. Oh, that's nice and easy. Okay, so now we're looking for things that actually cancel out. And this is really nice because we do have this guy on both sides, which means we can divide both sides by it, which means we can cancel it out, which is cool. That was a P1. Oh yeah, we got a P1 on each side. They can be cancelled out as well. We've almost destroyed everything now. What do we have left? We're left with 3n is equal to 2. Oof, much tamer, much easier to handle. So we can solve this using logarithms. Now it depends on your calculator how we're going to do this. Let's have a quick chat about logarithms. Very quick one, right? What logarithms do is if you had 2 to the power of something was equal to 8, then what logarithms do is they make this the subject. They tell you the answer. So you have to do logarithm log base 2, because we're trying to find the base, this is base 2, of 8 is equal to question mark. Okay, obviously you know 2 to the power of 3 is going to make that work. 2 to the power of 3 is equal to 8, so this is going to give me 3. So this is my basic logarithm that I'm using to remember things and to work it out. So I'm going to rewrite my formula over here in that format. So what I'm asking really is log base 3 of 2 is equal to n. Right, and that should give it to me on a calculator. So it depends on your calculator, and this is really what I work with on the course of all you guys, is like finding the type of calculator you have. Everything's a little bit different. So I'm going to use this universal log button, but not all the calculators have this. This is quite a recent addition. So if you're using an older calculator, I'm going to have to show you a different way to get around this. You have to use change of base formula. But with this guy, I can just plug in 3, plug in 2, and get a value out of it. 0.63. Let me write that down. This is 0.63092 975, etc. Right? This is equal to n, and that's actually the answer in the question because they're asking for find the value of n using logarithms, and we did. We found it. But let me prove to you that this actually works. We are saying that if you raise 3 to this power, you'll get 2 out of it. And that's the essential idea about logarithms. Same thing here, if I raise 2 to this power, I get 8 out of it. So it's not going to give me an exact answer unless I use the exact value, and I'm not going to use the exact value to show it to you. I'm going to give you an approximate value. So it's going to come out about 2. It should be equal to exactly 2, but it's going to be about 2. Let's try it. So 3 to the power of 0.630929975 equals 1.9999999. That's pretty close to 2, right? So it is 2, basically. If we write down all the different values, it would tell us the rest of it. So that's a little bit on logarithms. You're going to see this question come up about 2 times or 3 times. It's basically a case of plugging them in. And again, it's really a high-level topics that we don't touch on for the rest of the course. And if you just happen to know logarithm, that's great. If you don't, well, there you go. There's a solution for it.